this episode of Jen and Friends for State 48 News, an exclusive interview with the mayor of Buckeye, Arizona, Eric Orsborn.
Tell me, do you like being mayor?
I love being mayor. It is the best job ever.
This interview takes place at the WestMex Southwest campus with the launch luncheon for the Buckeye Union High School District Education Foundation.
So what are your thoughts on the presentation today and all the growth happening out here in the West Valley?
Well, we know the growth because we're part of that all the time as the city of Buckeye, and it's very impactful to come to a meeting where they are laying out what the growth in the community means to the school district and how important it is that we have funding for future high schools that are going to really take care of the growth that's coming our way.
You know, what surprised me was, so I've lived out here for 20 years, and a lot of times, you know, these bonds fail and everything, and when today they presented everything in the red and everything in the green and where that funding is coming from, it was such a visual kind of shock.
Right.
As a city, are you finding that a lot of the land is being sold and chewed up before the districts can jump on board and secure some of that land to build these extra schools?
I don't know if I would preface it that way. I think what happens is you have developers that come in, and a lot of times there are agreements that they make with the district in these larger developments where the district can basically have land donated to them. It's not always the best pieces of property, but the developers are generally looking to have really high quality education within their community. And so the more we can do to encourage the development community to partner with both the elementary school district and the high school district, I think the better off we are long term.
I think it's amazing that an A-rated district with 3 A-rated schools. I mean, how fortunate are we in the West Valley to have this?
Yeah, so that it was neat to see this and have that reminder of how successful they've been at educating students. It's that just fills me with pride that our high school district has 3 A-rated schools, and they continue to be successful. And if they can grow on that, that's the foundation that they've laid. If they can grow this district, and we saw that area that they encompass going all the way out to Tonopah area, grow a district with that foundation and A-rated schools, then we're growing that next generation of workforce, which is really, really exciting for us from an economic development perspective.
Is this a selling perspective for you? Is this a good PR perspective for your city?
Absolutely. In fact, we tout partners like the Buckeye Union High School District or WestMex, and letting every economic development opportunity that comes into the city are all asking us not how much money you're going to give us, not some of the superficial things that tax breaks and stuff like that. What they are mostly looking for is how fast, speed to market, and where are my employees going to come from. And we get to tout districts like this. We have 3 A-rated high schools in this district that are going to be creating that next generation workforce. Not just people that are going to leave here, go to college, and then come back, but people that are going to do the CTE and the incredible programs that the high school district has. And what they call future ready. I love that term that they use, having future ready kids. So when they're graduating from high school, they have opportunities to go direct into the workforce, go into some training, go on to community college or onto university, and then come back and be a part of the growth and success of the city of Buckeye.
One of the things that you mentioned is about having a workforce out here. Yeah. I was getting my hair done, cute girl was drying my hair, and she was talking to me about how expensive it was for her to have an apartment.
Yeah.
And she really wants to stay here. She wants to live here and grow her future family here someday. What are your thoughts on that? And do you foresee there being a day where we'll have this workforce where these kids are ready and able to afford to stay here?
Yeah, so there's a couple things with that. One is having the workforce coming in, and it's a supply demand. So now one of the other things that those businesses are asking is not only where's my workforce coming from, but where are they going to live when they come here? And housing has gotten so expensive. Rents for apartments have gotten so expensive, and that's really a supply-demand issue. We are the answer to that. Buckeye and Goodyear and the West Valley cities more than 50% of the growth happening in Metro Phoenix is going to be out our way. So we have, I think at this time, about 6,500 units of multifamily that are in the pipeline, meaning they're either in planning or design or under construction. And you'll see those come into play over the next probably 4 to 5 years. Some building sooner than others. We just celebrated the opening of one in the downtown area last Friday. But we're going to see just a massive amount of multifamily and then more single-family residential coming into the community. And then everything in between that. So that single-family from the executive level housing all the way down to the starter homes, the multifamily from those income-capped units all the way up to the luxury apartments that are coming in.
There's been a lot of talk recently about a lot of these school districts. They're closing schools because the population is falling off. Buckeye, Goodyear, you're growing so quickly. What is it? What is it about this area that people are coming here and these schools are growing?
Yeah, it's really available land. It's housing cost. We're about the last of what can grow in the Metro Phoenix area. So there's 100,000 people a year that move into Metro Phoenix, and they have to go someplace, and we're the answer to that. Some of it is jobs. So the big industries that are near us, whether it's Luke Air Force Base or Palo Verde, or one of the many jobs that are coming into or employers that are coming into the city of Buckeye. All of that stuff is bringing residents and workforce out this way, and it's this beautiful cake that we're building out here: the workforce, the housing, the incredible employers that are coming into the community, and it's just going to be really fun to watch that happen over the years.
So I've been watching all the bills going through the state legislature. Are there any to you that you've really got an eye on right now?
Yes, I'm not going to remember the numbers on it. There's so many different numbers. One is a starter housing bill that has been in the works, and there's a couple variations of it. There's an answer to the original. The original was essentially giving the development community and housing all authority to do whatever they want, taking the city's ability to affect design and planning, taking the residents' ability to affect designing and plan, all that opportunity for us to speak into what planning and zoning and those things away from us, and then just allowing carte blanche whatever they want to do from a 1,500 square foot lot. From there all the way up, whatever a developer would want to do, and that's a really, really bad idea. So we're completely against that, and we're working toward getting to a point where there's definitely a need for starter homes, but there's got to be some balance to that, where that 1,500 square foot lot is it's about 24 units to the acre, and a typical residential is somewhere between 3 and 4 units to the acre. That's a massive amount of density that we don't have roads built for, we don't have water and sewer infrastructure built for, and it's just a really, really bad idea. So there's a city's version of that's out there that is much more practical, allows some say in what happens, does not allow as small of lots just anywhere, and so we're excited about that one. There's also a bill that is dealing with our revenues as a city. And right now, the city of Buckeye charges tax on groceries. There's many cities that do. I think it's 71 cities in Arizona that do. And it's very important for us because we don't have all the brick and mortar that other cities do. So like a Phoenix or a Tempe or a Mesa, Tucson, Flagstaff, I think are examples of who does not charge that food tax. We do, and it's about somewhere between $8 and $12 million of our budget. That's a big amount of money that we use for services, whether it's police and fire or community services, and then also to build infrastructure to keep up with that growth. So we're very much against the state and the bill that they have that they're pushing forward, which is taking away our ability to as a city and as residents decide how we're going to have revenues coming into the city to pay for what we need.
One of the big stories I've been covering the last couple of weeks has been photo radar and license plate readers and that kind of a thing. I saw a story this week that you're going to have 59 flock cameras. Obviously, I'm on the side of I'm not a fan of these.
Of the
photo radar, the flock cameras, the AI technology being used to track people. As this expands in your city, what is the message to your people? The reasoning for having these, and what are your feelings on photo radar? Should the people of Arizona be able to vote on this, or would you like to see the state of Arizona mandate if you can or cannot have?
Yeah, so typically we as cities like to have local control, and if a place like Paradise Valley wants to control their speeds with photo radar, then we think that is up to the people in Paradise Valley. We don't. I don't know that we have any intention of doing photo radar. A lot of what we really could use is just signs that are up saying this is your speed, and letting people know that they're you're letting people know that they're going over the speed limit. And that's one of the biggest complaints we get as council members is the speed at which people are driving in an unsafe manner in residential areas. We do make use of license plate readers, which are incredibly beneficial. It's like a force multiplier for us as a city, because now when a vehicle that has a license plate that has been marked as stolen or something suspicious going on, it pings, then our folks can go out and see exactly what's going on with that. And there's been several apprehensions that have been made of some bad people meaning to do bad things, and those license plate readers have been huge in getting our police to the right location.
You make a really interesting point, and I was just talking to Nathan about this too, where instead of the state coming and saying, okay, everybody in the whole state can vote to have it or not, giving the cities the control to have those votes individually, because cities are so unique and different.
Right.
So I can absolutely see where that would be an option as well.
Yeah, and that's in just about everything that we do as cities. So that food tax that we talk about, some cities do not need that. We do. There's places like Snowflake and Taylor in northeast Arizona where that's almost 40% of their revenue coming in. There just isn't anything else to tax. Those residents are still demanding police and fire service and roads being repaired. And if you don't have that revenue, then you don't have those services. And so it's just better. Every city is different, and it's just better to handle it at a local level.
Yeah. You still have quite a bit of farmland out here.
Yeah.
And
well, I don't. Farmers do.
right.
Yeah.
Any thoughts on water, farmland, anything?
Yeah. So we make it really, really clear we're not trying to chase out farming. Farming is, I love driving from my office in downtown Buckeye, Old Town Buckeye, to my home, and driving through the fields. And in the summer it's cooler, and it's we love farming. I love agriculture, but we don't own and control that property, and so it's really up to the farm family when they want to. If they want to continue farming, I can't force them to continue farming. There were some here that would probably have really big issues with me if I'm trying to force them to farm. But the amount of money that they can get when they sell that to development that's happening out this way, whether it's residential or commercial or industrial, is staggering, and it's generational wealth, and typically that's the farmer's 401k. So at some point they cash out, and then we have to manage that growth that happens in those farmlands. So the hope is that they continue to farm as long as they absolutely want to. But it has been just that pattern of growth in the East Valley. It's done it in Gilbert and in Chandler, Mesa, parts of Phoenix, Glendale. As growth has happened, those farmers that were out there now have, 20, 30 years ago bought property out here, and they've been farming, and now eventually they'll move along to someplace else or sell the farm, or it's just kind of the evolution of farming in the Metro Phoenix area.
So as I wrap up, tell me, do you like being mayor?
I love being mayor. It is the best job ever. You get to do, meet with your legislators and speak in testimony about some of the stuff that we're talking about. You get to meet with developers and plan out what the city looks like in the future, plan big infrastructure projects like an airport or expansion on I-10 or arterial roads, and then go read to kids at a grade school who think you're pretty cool because you're a mayor, and then answer their questions, or go play hockey in the after-school program with kids. It is the best job ever, and in a community like this that is just so fantastic and so excited about the things that are happening. I couldn't imagine being in a community where it's not growing. It's just you're in maintenance mode. That's definitely not us. We're definitely growing, and it is a lot of fun to be mayor of Buckeye.